Everything: therapy, meditation, medication, even a brief stint with alternative remedies. Nothing seemed to lift the heavy fog of depression that had settled over him years ago. This was it, his last hope. Taking a deep breath, Kilo clicked confirm order on the website. In a few days a discreet package would arrive containing estrogen pills, his potential salvation. He knew it was risky to start hormone therapy without medical soup, but what other option did he really have? Every traditional approach had already failed. If this didn't help, he didn't want to imagine what would come next. He tried to push that fear aside. The days dragged on slowly as Kilo waited for the package. When it finally arrived, he opened it with trembling fingers. The small vial of pills seemed almost symbolic, tiny, yet full of possibility. That evening, Kilo took the first dose. He didn't expect immediate results, but the simple act of trying something new after years of feeling powerless gave him a quiet sense of relief. Weeks passed. Kilo stayed consistent with the medication, resisting the urge to constantly analyze himself. He had read that meaningful changes could take time. Still, each morning, he found himself pausing in front of the mirror, searching for anything different. Around the 2-month mark, something felt lighter. The heavy cloud that had followed him for years no longer felt as suffocating. He laughed at a television joke one night, and it was real. Not forced. Not empty. It had been so long since he had felt that kind of joy. As his mood improved, he began stepping outside more often. Social settings still made him uneasy, but they were no longer unbearable. Eventually, he accepted an invitation to meet an old friend for coffee. "Hey, it's been forever," Tom said, clapping him on the back outside the cafe. "You look great. Did you change something?" Kilo hesitated. He hadn't noticed anything major, though his clothes did seem slightly looser. "Maybe a bit," he replied casually. "I've been trying to take better care of myself." Tom studied him for a moment. "There's definitely something different. You just seem happier." "I'm really glad." Kilo felt warmth spread through his chest. For the first time in years, he felt hopeful. Over the following months, the transformation continued. His skin became smoother. His facial features softened. He shaved less frequently. Subtle physical shifts began appearing, curves forming gradually where there had been none before. Initially, the changes startled him. This wasn't what he had anticipated when he began treatment. He had hoped for relief from depression, not such noticeable bodily differences. But as time went on, the fear faded. Instead of resisting, he began to accept what was happening. Looking in the mirror stopped feeling strange. Slowly, the reflection felt more aligned with who he was inside. One morning, he woke up, looked at himself, and paused. The person in the mirror appeared distinctly feminine. There was no panic. Instead, a deep calm settled over him. For the first time, everything made sense. The years of discomfort, confusion, and emotional pain felt clearer now. He wasn't becoming someone new. He was discovering who he had always been. In the days that followed, he adjusted to his new reality. Eventually, he realized he couldn't remain isolated forever. The next step was sharing the truth. With shaking hands, he called his parents. The conversation was emotional and difficult. They were surprised, confused, struggling to understand. But as he explained how much happier and healthier he felt, their tone softened. "We just want you to be happy," his mother said gently. "This is new for us, but we love you." Tears filled his eyes. He had feared rejection, but instead he felt acceptance. Next came his friends. Rather than avoiding the conversation, he invited them over for dinner. When they arrived and saw him, silence filled the room. Tom's eyes widened. "Is that really you?" Kilo took a steady breath. "It's me. I've gone through some changes. I'm transgender, and I've transitioned. I hope you can accept me." There was a brief pause, then Tom stepped forward and embraced him. "Of course we do. You're still you." The others quickly followed, offering support and curiosity rather than judgment. By the end of the evening, laughter replaced tension. From there, Kilo began embracing life fully. He updated his wardrobe, exploring styles he had always admired but never felt confident wearing. Shopping became exciting instead of stressful. He experimented with hair changes, makeup, and personal expression. Of course, challenges existed. There were logistical updates, occasional awkward moments in public spaces, and the adjustment process itself. But compared to the depression he had endured, these obstacles felt manageable. Over time, he joined supportive communities, continued treatment under professional supervision, and rebuilt his social life. Confidence slowly replaced fear. Months later, sitting at lunch with his parents, he felt grateful beyond words. "Thank you for supporting me," he told them. His mother squeezed his hand. "We were scared at first," she admitted. "But seeing how happy you are now, that's what matters most." His father nodded. "You're glowing." Kilo smiled. For the first time, he felt that his outer self matched his inner identity. Authenticity replaced shame. Peace replaced confusion. That evening, he texted Tom about movie plans. As he settled in with friends later that night, laughing comfortably, he realized how far he had come. The journey hadn't been simple, but it had led him somewhere meaningful. He wasn't hiding anymore. He was living. And for the first time, he truly felt like himself, confident, accepted, and ready for whatever came next. That summer, she met up with her friends for a beach day, confidently wearing her new swimsuit. As she walked across the warm sand, she prepared herself for curious looks or hushed comments. Instead, nothing happened. No stares. No whispers. She was simply another woman enjoying the ocean breeze, laughing as waves splashed around her with her friends. In that moment, she felt completely at ease. There was no need to overthink how she appeared to others. She was just living, without fear, without hiding. For the first time, she felt unburdened. As the seasons changed, so did her life. By autumn, she had started working at a nearby bookstore, a place filled with quiet comfort and welcoming energy. Her colleagues treated her like anyone else, creating an environment where she felt respected and included. One evening, while organizing shelves, a customer approached and asked for fantasy recommendations. Kilo turned with enthusiasm. Fantasy had always been her favorite genre. But when she looked up, her words paused. Standing before her was a woman who seemed to glow with confidence. Tall, graceful, with rich brown skin and beautiful natural curls, she radiated warmth. Kilo felt her face heat up. She quickly gathered herself and began discussing her favorite series. The two spent nearly half an hour talking about epic adventures, powerful heroines, and imaginative worlds. Kilo found herself laughing more than usual, completely drawn in by the woman's humor and intelligence. When they reached the counter, the customer introduced herself as Zara, mentioning she had just moved to town. She expressed how happy she was to have found such a welcoming bookstore. Kilo replied shyly, introducing herself in return, her heart still racing. Zara smiled and said she hoped to see her again. Over the following weeks, Zara returned often. Their conversations grew easier each time. They bonded over books, movies, and shared interests. Kilo felt a growing connection but hesitated, unsure if she was ready to date. She still carried quiet fears about vulnerability and acceptance. Zara, however, was patient and respectful, never rushing anything. One day, during a casual conversation, Zara mentioned having dated women before. The comment filled Kilo with hope. After gathering her courage, she asked Zara out for coffee. To her surprise, Zara admitted she had been hoping Kilo would ask first. Their first date felt natural and comfortable. Over warm drinks in a cozy cafe, they talked for hours. Kilo eventually shared her story, her journey, her transition, her experiences. She braced herself for judgment. Instead, Zara responded with kindness and sincerity. She thanked Kilo for trusting her and assured her that nothing about her identity changed how she felt. Relief washed over Kilo. For the first time, she felt truly seen and valued. As months passed, their relationship deepened. They spent quiet evenings reading together, attended gatherings with friends, and shared affectionate moments beneath festive lights. Their bond grew steadily, built on trust and understanding. When New Year's Eve arrived, they hosted a small celebration at Kilo's apartment. Surrounded by loved ones, laughter filled the room. As midnight approached, Kilo felt overwhelmed in the best way possible. Just a year ago, her life had felt uncertain and heavy. Now, it felt full of love and possibility. When the countdown began, she turned to Zara, gratitude shining in her eyes. They exchanged heartfelt words, thanking each other for bravery, support, and companionship. As the clock struck midnight, they shared a kiss, sealing the promise of a new beginning. The year ahead brought even more growth. Encouraged by Zara, Kilo decided to pursue writing, a passion she had long suppressed. With renewed confidence, ideas began flowing freely. She started a blog documenting her experiences, hoping to help others who might be questioning or struggling. To her surprise, readers from around the world responded with messages of gratitude. Many shared how her honesty gave them courage and comfort. Inspired by the impact she was making, Kilo began writing a novel featuring a transgender main character. She poured her heart into the story, blending imagination with personal truth. Zara became her first reader, offering encouragement and thoughtful feedback. When the manuscript was complete, Kilo nervously submitted it to literary agents. Rejections arrived, and doubt crept in. She wondered if her voice would find a place. Then, one day, an email appeared that changed everything. An agent expressed deep admiration for her story and said they would be honored to represent her. They believed in her voice and the importance of her work. Kilo stared at the message, hardly believing it. Years of struggle, growth, and courage had led to this moment. She shared the news with Zara, who celebrated with tears of pride and excitement. Kilo realized how far she had come, from uncertainty and isolation to love, confidence, and creative fulfillment. Her journey was no longer about survival. It was about thriving. And with each new day, she continued writing her story, both on the page and in real life, surrounded by support, authenticity, and hope for the future.